with that being said, you big dummies, you getting paid now.
Right.
Everybody now has an opportunity to pull up their chair and have a seat.
The past year, a storm's been brewing. Sheryl Swoopes has launched one strange attack after another on Caitlin Clark. She claimed Clark was a 25-year-old towering over teenagers, dismissed her rookie season as overrated, and even suggested no one wanted to share the court with her. It didn't stop. The shots kept coming, like a personal vendetta with no end in sight.
Some of your peers, they will recognize, her game, but they won't recognize her impact.
Right.
How can you separate the two? It's kind of
hard,
right?
And I used, Jax, you're absolutely right. And I was like, come on, you big dummies.
Then came Cheryl Miller stepping into the spotlight like a heavyweight champ. The basketball icon and former Clark coach delivered a thunderous knockout on the All the Smoke podcast, calling Swoopes a big dummy and tearing down every twisted narrative. But Miller didn't stop there. Her fierce defense of Caitlin Clark dropped a shocking clue about the Indiana Fever's future, and fans haven't stopped buzzing since. Buckle up. It's about to get real.
Two-time Player of the Year, two-time National Championship, two-time Tournament MVP, first woman to dunk in an organized game, gold medalist. Thank you for making time. Welcome to the show, Cheryl Miller.
Before we dive into Miller's explosive defense, ask yourself this. Why would a basketball legend work so hard to tear down the WNBA's brightest new star? It's baffling, but the pattern is real. Let's trace Sheryl Swoopes' strange, relentless crusade against Caitlin Clark, one that began back in college and followed all the way to her rookie year.
Let's also talk about how much more experience that gives you over other players coming in, right? So people say, dang, like he or she's killing them, but you have a 25-year-old playing against a 20-year-old.
It all began with a jaw-dropping falsehood. Swoopes claimed that Clark was a 25-year-old dominating teenagers at Iowa. Outrageous. In reality, Clark was just 22, a standard fourth-year senior like thousands of others. When the facts didn't match her story, Swoopes backpedaled, blaming hyperbole and COVID rules. But the excuse fell flattened. The damage was already done.
Caitlin Clark right now probably takes about 40 shots a game.
Carry on.
I know you like that.
Hell yeah.
I said that because when she comes to the league, regardless of what team she goes to that has vets on that team, she probably ain't gonna get 40 shots a game.
Swoopes wasn't done. She claimed Clark was hoisting 40 shots, a game painting her as a selfish gunner. The truth, Clark averaged just 22.7 shots. And here's the kicker. Swoopes herself took 19.2 shots per game her senior year only, 3 fewer. Talk about glass houses. When Clark neared the NCAA scoring record, Swoopes changed tactics, now questioning the legitimacy of the record, hinting that Clark needed a 5th year to break it.
You asked me about Caitlin. If you're going to break a record, to me, if it's legitimate, you have to break that record in the same amount of time that that player set it.
Okay.
Right? So if Kelsey Plum set that record in 4 years, well, Caitlin should have broke that record in 4 years. But because there's a COVID year and then there's another year, you know what I mean? So she's already had an extra year to break that record. So is it truly a broken record?
This was completely false.
Clark shattered the all-time scoring record in just 4 years, just like the greats before her. She could have taken a 5th year, thanks to COVID rules, but chose not to. And when she entered the WNBA, Swoopes boldly predicted she'd flop. But Clark didn't just prove her wrong, she dominated, breaking rookie assist records, leading the league in dimes, averaging 19.2 points and 8.4 assists by season's end. Rookie of the year, and Swoopes silent.
To say she wouldn't be good. What I said was I didn't think Caitlin or Angel would come into the league and dominate immediately, which I don't think either of them did.
Respectfully, there is absolutely no way, even when we're trying to sit here and play semantics about dominating, there's no way that anyone could ever leave this season in saying that both Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese didn't dominate. You would have to further explain what dominance means for you to not sit here and say that a player who is leading the league in assists while averaging 19 to 20 points didn't dominate that.
Perhaps the most revealing moment came on Angel Reese's podcast. Swoopes kept undermining Clark while insisting she didn't dislike her. It was the perfect contradiction. Say one thing, do another, and everyone watching could see right through it.
Girl, since she was in college, I helped do her shoe deal with Nike in 1993, took her to her first SBs. I've known Cheryl, I've coached her, have a lot of respect for her. I called her when Caitlin was still playing at Iowa and she had just broken Maravich's record. And it was all over the place, as you and I have discussed, that, there was this quote by Cheryl that said, Caitlin was, 25 years old. She was, however old, 24 years old. She was a fifth-year senior. Right. She was taking 40 shots a game. Her records were illegitimate.
The basketball world noticed. The tide turned. Swoopes was quietly removed from broadcasting a Fever game, and in her place came Nancy Lieberman, who didn't pull any punches.
Who didn't hesitate
she called
to
out
call
the
out the
lies.
misinformation
She defended the rookie.
about the
Finally,
rookie
someone on the mic was speaking the truth.
I got off the treadmill and I called her as a friend, and I said, you can say whatever you want. You can have your own opinion about anybody, but you do have to get the statistics right. I mean, facts matter. And if you just get ahead of this and just say, hey, I made a mistake on my numbers, then this thing is over and everybody respects you for your opinion. And, you might like Boston, I might like the Yankees. It's okay to have difference of opinions. Well, she got upset with me on the phone, and I was like, Cheryl, I'm not doing anything to hurt you. I'm just sharing. We're talking. And so our relationship, it pretty much is not happening at this point. I tried to talk to her at the Final Four. Right. She didn't want to talk to me. My life's going to be good or great with or without Sheryl Swoopes in my life.
The Caitlin Clark conversation.
Hoping, begging for someone with real credibility to step into the Caitlin Clark firestorm. And then it happened. Cheryl Miller walked into the All the Smoke podcast studio and scorched the critics. When a basketball legend who's actually Coach Clark decides she's done with the nonsense, you get one of the most powerful defenses women's basketball has ever seen.
Jax, you're absolutely right. And I was like, come on, you big dummies. Is she getting hyped? Yes. But she was in the backyard. She was putting in the same time, sometimes maybe more than you were.
Right.
I can't fault her for what she was given.
Miller didn't tiptoe into the conversation. She lit
fire
it on
and
fire.
precision
With
that
pinpoint
only someone of her
accuracy,
stature
she delivered a
said
now
everything in
viral
just 2
takedown.
words.
Come on, you big
Come
dummies.
on, you big
the room
dummies.
exploded. But that was just the start. Miller spoke of Clark's work ethic like someone who's seen it up close, and she has. This wasn't a talking head mouthing off. This was Cheryl Miller, one of the greatest ever, calling out the hypocrisy, circling the young star. And then she dropped a truth bomb the critics don't want to admit.
Well, I mean, look, as much as she was given, you can't tell me if that door would have swung the other way where she didn't live up to the hype.
Right.
Come on, folks are still waiting for her to fall.
Exactly.
Come on.
Yep.
So, with that being said, you big dummies, you getting paid now.
Here's the part they'll never say out loud. Presence has lifted the entire WNBA ratings, attendance, sponsorships, even the paychecks of her harshest critics. That's the uncomfortable truth Cheryl Miller made impossible to ignore.
You recently coached the WNBA All-Star game. You spent some time with Caitlin Clark.
Best coaching job ever.
Best coaching job
Best
ever.
coaching job ever.
Being around Caitlin Clark, how was the experience for her? She's such a big star. I mean, the sky's the limit for her. To be around her, just talk about the type of person she is and how much she loves the game.
I'm going to be honest because it needs to be said. I can relate to that young lady, and I felt for her. I know what it's like to be hated. I know what it's like to be a black woman and hated because of my color.
Yeah.
What makes Miller's words hit so hard?
What makes
they aren't
Miller's
guesses.
defense
They're built
so
on
powerful?
first-hand experience.
After coaching Clark
in the 2024 WNBA All-Star Game, Miller had a front row seat to the real deal, not just the viral highlights. And what she saw, it even surprised her.
I can't imagine this young lady, I don't want to use hate, but despised. And people just having, she brought some on herself a little bit because she's cocky for a good reason.
Confident.
And I love that about her. But to watch the dynamics and the media, they had their narrative. And I was pleased and proud to see the narrative wasn't the truth.
More than just relief, it was vindication. Cheryl Miller saw through the noise and dismantled months of media spin with one razor-sharp sentence. But she didn't stop there. She peeled back the curtain and exposed what truly sets Caitlin Clark apart. And it wasn't just stats.
Watching her pass, and I didn't know how talented she was and how well she sees the game in a 3D version, thinker. Defensively, a lot better than I thought and gave her credit for. So watching her and just spending a little time. And one thing, guys, that I've learned is to step back and let these kids be themselves.
Behind Miller's clinical breakdown of Clark's skill set hid something deeper, a raw, emotional bond forged during Clark's darkest moments. When the Fever finally secured their first win of the 2024 season, Miller wasn't just a congratulatory voice. She became something far rarer in sports: unconditional support.
He was getting hit with everything left and right, and I just said, I hugged her, I said, I'm so proud of you. I go, savor this, use this as a formula. I said, but keep being you. I said, no matter what, keep being you.
That embrace between Cheryl Miller and Caitlin Clark after Indiana's breakthrough win, it wasn't just another sports moment, it was a lifeline. Clark had been standing alone in a storm of doubt, and Miller felt the weight of that isolation. I gave her the biggest hug I could. Miller remembered. She looked at me like, finally, someone's on my side. That hug said everything.
Heavy as a crown that she's wearing right now.
Right.
And it wasn't something that she self-anointed herself. It's something that's been placed on her head, and I hope people understand that.
That fragile moment, Miller didn't give her cliches. She gave her the kind of wisdom only a battle-tested legend could offer. I'm so proud of you, savor this, use it as a formula, but keep being you, no matter what. These weren't just words, they were a rope to a drowning rookie trying to stay afloat amid pressure and noise.
And I gave her the biggest hug that I could. And when she saw me, she was like, oh man, finally somebody I see that's on my side.
Right, they can relate.
The one thing that I said to her, and she was heading into her senior year, was have fun. No matter all the static, just make sure you find that quiet place.
When Cheryl Miller speaks, the basketball world stops to listen. With 3 Naismith Player of the Year awards, 2 national titles, Olympic gold, and a Hall of Fame plaque, her legacy is untouchable. But what sets her apart is that she doesn't just admire Caitlin Clark's scoring. She sees what others overlook: her supernatural court vision.
You could set a screen for Caitlin. Caitlin don't need a screen. Caitlin's got great handles. The one thing that I don't think people really appreciate about that young lady's game, she can pass the ball.
She can't pass. She got great assists.
She bounce pass. The bounce pass is powerful, which is almost non-existent in the game.
There's one thing people don't appreciate enough about that young lady's game: she can pass the ball, Miller said firmly. That statement echoed through the league. This wasn't empty praise, it was recognition from a legend who understands the subtle brilliance that turns great players into generational ones.
I love what they've done for the women's game from the collegiate level to now, and it's working. And it was only a matter of time. And great narratives, great storylines. But now the bottom line comes down to one thing: it's about basketball, and it's about wins.
Miller's view carries more weight than most because of where she stands at the crossroads of player development and media myth. At the 2024 All-Star Game, she saw Clark's genius unfold in real time, and in a single sharp observation, she shattered months of fabricated doubt crafted by the old guard.
What advice, if any, did you share in that meeting with Caitlin? Because I know that she spoke very highly of you, got great respect for you.
I've known Cheryl for a little while now. I think her energy, that's what I love about her. Like, it's just contagious, and it's fun.
But the All-Star Game wasn't just a stage for silencing critics. It was the beginning of something far bigger. When Caitlin nervously called Cheryl coach for the first time, neither realized what they were starting. That simple moment, it might have ignited the foundation of the WNBA's next dynasty.
I've known Cheryl for a little while now. I think her energy, that's what I love about her. Like, it's just contagious, and it's fun.
Before they shared a sideline, Caitlin Clark admired Cheryl Miller from a distance. She's one of the pioneers of our game. Just an awesome individual, Clark said. The respect was palpable, and when the All-Star coaching news broke, Clark couldn't hide her excitement. It's super exciting for me. I was so excited when I heard about what happened when they finally met in person. That's where the spark truly lit.
Getting to be around those two people that have done so much for the game, for me, is super special. Like, there's still 2 people that I really look up to and idolize and appreciate everything that they've done, and for them to have this moment too and be a part of it, like, it's just super cool.
Despite her on-court swagger,
Not only
Clark
are they
approached
getting better,
Miller with
but they're
humility like a
confident and they
student
share
meeting
no
her
fear.
idol. I
They're
called her
fearless.
coach, and she laughed and said, "I don't know about that, we'll see how I do in the game," Clark recalled, chuckling. That tiny exchange revealed volumes. It showed a mutual respect, a shared humility, and the birth of a culture that could define Indiana's next era.
Holy smokes, what an opportunity. And I was excited, like really, really excited till I found out that the team I'm coaching wants to beat the brakes off our Olympic team. I'm like, okay, the pressure's on. So now we got a game, folks. We're going to have a game, but it's been fantastic.
What shocked Miller most wasn't just Clark's talent, it was the fearlessness, pulsing through the entire FIBA roster. This is not a team people want to play. Miller isn't just for show. They're confident. They share no fear. But then came the kicker. Miller admitted she underestimated their basketball IQ. I didn't count on it being that high. That cerebral edge. That's what separates contenders from champions.
And people that came well before today's game, they were skilled. They were incredible. The spotlight is now enhanced, and give these women credit. They have certainly elevated the game. But there are some truly, truly great players that could play today that played yesterday.
And you know what? And I love the way that you said piggyback, because in no way, shape, or form am I not appreciative of where the game is at and the exposure, because we get exposure. Everybody forgot Lynette Woodard until Caitlin Clark broke her scoring record.
Looking ahead to 2025, something electric is brewing in Indiana, and it's bigger than X's and O's. The connection between Caitlin Clark and Cheryl Miller isn't just mentorship, it's generational. Clark praised Miller's radiant energy. Miller described Clark's court vision as 3D. And when Miller told her, savor this, use it as a formula, but keep being you, it wasn't just encouragement, it was the passing of the torch. While critics cling to tired narratives, this alliance signals something rare, the birth of a powerhouse.